All right, this is our second introductory file. In this video, we're going to be adding some points and strings into the job. So in here, we want to create a new job first. So position your cursor at the top left-hand corner over the icon. We're going to go new. We're going to call it into. And I'm going to put a description in here. So this is second video, and you can add in clients and locations if you like. That way, if you're scrolling through the things, you can click on a job and you'll see in here what it refers to, rather than try to remember the name. And click open. Alright, we want to add in a couple of points first, so click on the points menu and we'll kind of click add. Now just left click on the screen somewhere, and we're going to enter an easting and northing. Now notice if you're from the USA, you might prefer the order to be northing easting. Now you can control that. When you're when it was first installed, it should have asked you whether you wanted meters or feet and which order for like easting northing or northing easting. But there's something you can control later. You can go to the view menu and the modes, and in there you can change that, and then this dial will come up in northing easting order. But anyway, we're adding a point at easting 200. Hit the tab key, northing 300, and left click on the OK button at the bottom. Just left click on the screen again. Easting here's 450, tab 500, enter. Now there are 2 points. Now we can go type the Z key for zoom and E for extents. Now if you can't see those on the screen, click on view parameters and you can set up in here how it's displayed. If you're not sure how to do that, go and watch the first video again. We're now going to calculate some more points to make up a little simple subdivision. Now, so if we go to the COGO menu, and we want to calculate some points using bearings and distances from this point here. So COGO, and it's the first one, bearing and distance. Now you can drag this around the screen. Now one thing here, see the cursor's still that little arrow thing. We should have hit the escape key to get rid of that. So hit the escape key. Yep, it's changed back. So go bearing and distance again. Because escape closed this bearing distance dialog down as well. Alright, now we want to go from point 1. So we can just click on point 1 on the screen. That'll fill that in. Now the bearing. Now you notice this is in north bearing east. This is a US convention. I'd prefer to just put in normal bearing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to go to the view menu. I'm going to go to modes. I'm going to go to modes in. And so it says bearings here, input, output. Here we've got input in quadrants and output in grads, which is probably unusual, but I've been playing around a bit. So we're going to put input in degrees and output in degrees. Go OK. So go back to the COGO menu, bearing and distance. Drag this down a bit. We're in the right line there. Just click on point 1 on the actual cross. Okay, we're going to put in a bearing of 15 degrees 30 minutes. So we just type in 15.3 here, 15.3, tab. And we want to go a distance of 20 meters. And we want a new point of 3, just go apply. So there's new point 3's in there. Okay, now we want to, I've just got to read my notes here, see what we're doing. Now from point 3, we want to add in another point, the same bearing for another 20 metres. So it's from point 3, it's fix that up for us automatically. The bearing can stay the same, the distance can stay the same. We can just hit apply again. So we've got 3 and 4 in there. Now we need another 5 frontages, so rather than just do this 5 times, what we can do, so we still want to go from 4, the bearing's the same, the distance is the same, and so at the bottom it says multiple. We're going to type in 5 there. We're going to hit apply. So here now we've got points from 1 to 9. Now what we want to do now, we want to, I think we need to calculate the back of the block. So we're at point 9 and we want to go back 35. So the bearing, so click into the bearing and hit the R key. R goes for right or L goes for left, and if you type in R, you notice 90 degrees was added, so instead of going up there it's now gone out to here. Okay, and these are 35 metres deep, so you could have hit tab there if you wanted to, and now press the apply button. Now we didn't really want to do that, we wanted only 1 deep because I left the multiple in there. That's fine, hit cancel, and you can just go left click to select, left click, left click, left click, and hit delete key, deleting 4 points. Okay, so they're gone. Okay, go back to Kogo bearing and distance. Now we're going from point 10. And we're going a bearing, I think the original bearing is 15.3. So hit R twice. That should be the back bearing. And our distance is 20 along the front. Well, actually we're along the back now, which is the same. And we're doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So put multiple 7 in there. And press apply. And so there's our other end of the things. So hit the cancel key to get rid of the Kogo radiate bearing and distance dialog. Now you want to add some strings in here now. So strings are just lines that join points together, and we want to start at this lot here and join a string around there, around here. So click on strings and add. Now you got a dialog box. Now you can put a string on a layer, you can give it an ID, and you can also live on a folder as well. So normally what you suggest, group your strings by folder that'll come together, and keep your ID separate. So here these are lots, so we'd put them in the lot folder. If we had a road going down, say across here, we'd create a folder with road. And the layer, we're just going to leave layers, all the strings on layer 0 at the moment, but you can change those as well. So first of all, make sure left click into the list box at the bottom of the string. Now on the string, left click on 1, then left click on 3, left click on 16, left click on 17, left click on 1 again, and click apply. So our first string's in here. Now we should have called that string 1 or something, but we called it untitled anyway for lot 2. And here I'll show you how you can type in. You can type in 3, 4, 15, 16, 3, hit apply. So you can just go through. I'm just going to close down the video for a minute or two and fill these in, so you don't have to You have to see that 7 or 8 times. So I'll be back shortly. Alright, I've just finished the last lot now. I've just put in lot 7, and after clicking apply, then click finish to finish. Now with the lots we've put in, the first lot, we need to, if you remember, we forgot to give it a name, and also the local council wants it to have a bit of a truncated corner on it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you just right click on the lot, and it comes up. So this string ID is untitled. It should actually be called lot 1. And I'll click apply and finish. Now we're also, as I said, we wanted a truncated corner, so we need to calculate some points in here, 3.5 meters from the edges. So go to Kogo and radiate, and we're radiating from point 1, and the bearing up was 15 degrees 30 minutes, and the distance is 3.5, and the new point will be 18, so click apply. Now you notice the radiate menu, it doesn't change the from point, it stays at 1, which is what we want, but here we won't need to go right at 90 degrees, so just left click in there and hit the R button for right and apply again. Now cancel. Now let's right click on this folder again, and it's now called lot 1 as we wanted it to. Now these bits here, they're attributes that can go with the lot. We haven't got any here at the moment, so just right click that and drag it so it doesn't take up as much of the screen. Now the string actually doesn't use point 1 anymore. It starts at 18 to 3, so left click into there and type in 8, 18, 3, 16, 17, goes to 19, comma 18. You can press show if you like to see what it does. That's what we want. Now click apply and finish. Now I'm also going to show you how the intersect two bearings menu item works. Just zoom out a bit. And when we started, we had a point 2. Now that's a road that's running east-west here at 270 degrees. We want to just say we want to calculate a point on this, the front of the lot alignment that intersects that road. So all we can do, we can click on Kogo, intersect. It's a 2 bearing intersection here. Now the first one is from point 9, and the bearing is 15 degrees 30 minutes as before. Now the second point is point 2, and here we want 270 degrees. And just click on show, and that'll show us where that point is, and we're happy with that, so just click apply. We've got a new point 20 in there. So this point 20 we've just calculated, that's where these lots can run to, and that's our limit, so we can actually fit some more lots in here. But before we do that, I should get rid of this dialog first, and press J for join, and we'll just check how far it is from point 9 to 20, and just make sure the bearing's still at 15.3. So the distance is 67 meters. So we should be able to get sort of 3 blocks and maybe a funny block in there. So what we're going to do now, click cancel. We're going to do a parallel offset calculation. Alright, now we're pulling down, doing this parallel offset calculation, so click on offset calcs, and we want parallel offset. Now we're starting, the first point is 9, the first bearing was, if you forget what the bearing was, if you type in P in this bearing field, which is P for point to point, then you can click on 8, 9, and that'll give you the bearing, which is 15.3. Now the first offset was 35. Now our second point is point 20, and the second bearing is running from 20 back to 2, which is 90. And the second offset was 35. I think we're designing a park or something up the top in this area here, so it's going to be coming out of point 21, so click apply. There's this point 21, so that'll be the area up in here. Now, as it's a park, we want to construct a curved boundary at the corner, so this is going to be in there. So pull down the Kogo menu and select curve. So actually click cancel here to get rid of that. So we go to Kogo, select curves, followed by IP and radius. Now the IP point is 20. The bearing in is 15.3, going up that way. The bearing out is 90. That's the bearing out. And once you put those in, the angles and things are calculated for you. So I've got an angle of 74. So if you put an angle in there instead of a bearing out, it would have calculated that. Now a radius, let's see, that's a good number here. So in this example, we want a tangent length of 12 meters. If you do the calcs, you get a radius of 15.7. So here we're going to use a radius of 15. This is described a bit more in the online manual. And so maybe read the online manual while watching this video as well. Press tab. And that gives us the arc distance and a tangent distance and what the area and things is. And I think we will accept that. First thing you do is say click show. That's that little corner up there. Just hit click apply. And it's added those points in there. Now click cancel. So now we want to add in a curved string. So pull down the strings, add. Now I was just about ready to add the strings. I notice I haven't got the point on the front of the lot here. So we need to cancel the add strings. So we'll just create a point from 21. So go Kogo, bearing and distance from point 21. And the bearing is 15.3, 15 degrees 30 minutes. And click L for left. And that'll give you a back bearing, and distance was 35. And click apply. And we also want a point going up 90 degrees from point 21. So from point, click on 21. And we want a bearing at straight up, which is 0. Actually, we don't know the point there. Now we'll do another bearing and intersect. Intersect, to bearing intersect from point 21, bearing 0 from point 2, bearing 270. And before we just calculate, just say show. Yep, that's the point we want. Click apply. hit cancel. Now we're in a position to create our park lot at the top. Now here we're going to be adding a curve in there, so we'll start at point 25, so go strings, add, it's in folder lots, but we'll call it park. We'll call it park 1 in case we have another park. Now left click on 25, now 22, that's a straight. Now here we want to go in an arc, a clockwise arc. What we can do, we can put in the center of the arc here, which is 23, but we want to specify whether it's a right going or a left going arc. And for a right going arc, we specify a plus sign and 23, then comma 24, then comma 26, and comma 21, comma 25, and click apply. And there's our park at the top. The next thing we want to do in this tutorial is to show you what the areas and of all the areas, perimeters, etc. of these strings are. So what we can do, to do that you need to select the strings. Now the easiest way to go into strings and look for select. Here you can do a single selection, or you can just left click on a string and that'll select it. Just if you did that, you go 1, 2, you click 8 times to select them. You can do it by a range, which is like a tree you can fill in. I won't do a polygon here, but actually we're doing all of them, so you normally just click all, but I'll show you how to do it via a polygon. Click on polygon, just left click on the screen, move your cursor, left click again to even close it all, then hit enter. Now they're all selected. Now under the strings, look for, there should be a thing that says list here, listing. And here you can tell it what sort of listing you want, a full listing, points and coordinates, etc. You can ignore the 3D surface area, the thing at the bottom here, just click OK. Now this creates an RTF file, rich text format file, in the same directory that the job's stored in, so it's document CDS4, and it should open up in WordPad or something similar. If you know, to select that, you need to go into the control panel and associate the RTF extension with whatever program you want to open automatically. Windows normally defaults to Notepad if you don't do anything. Here you can look at the lots. So lot 2, it goes 3, 4, 2, lot 3, etc. So you can scroll through those. Perimeters and areas. Okay, that ends. So actually once these are still selected, hit the escape key to unselect them. Then you normally go file, exit, and do you want the job saved? If you don't do anything, it'll automatically save it. And that ends the second tutorial.